Hello, my dear Cancers. This is for August 18th, or whenever you hear it and it resonates, and it won't be for all Cancers. Cancer, the image that I've been getting with you for the last 24 hours is really insistent on coming through. So I'm sharing this with you, and stick with me, because at first it could sound a little creepy, but it's not. The image that I'm seeing is you standing there in a state of real peace, inner peace, and around you, and your head is slightly bowed, but not in any way that's just like submissive. It's just kind of like quietly softened. And around your head is a really beautiful light, kind of whitish gold, but you know how when you see light in the psychic realm, it's like many dimensional. And it's flowing through your eyes and your ears and your mouth, and I can still see your eyes. It's not like, it's not like it's laser beams or anything. But what I feel Spirit is telling you here is that many of you have come to a point where you are going to be aware of channeling. You're going to be aware of hearing Spirit. And there are many different ways to hear Spirit, to interact with Spirit. So it would be a very good time for those of you, if you haven't done any reading about it, it would be a really good time for you to start exploring some of the ideas around how the spirit world uses your senses and your physiology to communicate with you. So typically we'll talk about clairaudience, hearing things, clairvoyance, seeing things, clairungiance, smelling things, clairsentience, feeling things, and there's more. There's a tendency for them to use the senses that you have based on what's already a strong sense for you, but it's not always. So for those of you who are already aware of channeling, be aware of the fact that it might be changing, because now that light is coming through all of your senses. And it might be that you're going to find that you're doing all of them. And that's interesting, because I've noticed that now when I do private readings, I always do automatic writing before. I talk to spirit guides, I notice, I listen, I see, I write. So it's all three at once in preparation for doing the work. And then as I'm sitting here, when I sit down with people and I'm talking, I'm feeling what I'm getting from them, and I'm lining up what they're saying I'm lining up what I'm saying with what I'm feeling with them, and the feeling of it tells me whether or not it's on or off. Now, that's probably way more information than you need to know, but it's just kind of like a snapshot of the fact that this is how all of your senses can come into play. So Spirit is saying, pay attention. For those of you who have already been channeling, it might be changing, it might be increasing. And for those of you who, they said also dreams, please pay attention to your dreams. Thank you. Okay, so this is important. What they're saying is, when you go to sleep at night, make sure that you say your prayers. Make sure that you say a prayer of protection. Now, this is not to make you neurotic. This is really basically you just saying, this is the quality of information I will take from the quality of spirit I want to be in contact with. I only want to be in contact with those spirits who are working for the highest good of all concerned, who come in love, who come in divine love. And that's it. You're saying it, that's the rule. You set the rules. It's nobody else setting the rules. You are. But you got to set them. Okay? Now, whatever prayer works for you, you can even go back to whatever your childhood prayer was, if that worked for you. Now I lay me down to sleep. I say, I pray the Lord my soul to keep, for example. But even if you say no prayer at all, what they would like you to do is, before you go to sleep at night, if you want to be increasing your clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairungiance, your gifts of psychic phenomena and mediumship. Keep humor. You gotta laugh. That lifts there's nothing left, Baba. When you go to sleep at night, set the intention that you would like your spirits to use this time to help adjust your energy, so that you can hear them more clearly. It's a really simple request. Again, state the spirit, that you are willing to have, only those. And if you want to say a prayer, fine, that's great. You know what? I think every culture, every religious culture has at least one standard prayer that is profoundly integrated into many different aspects of the culture. And that those carry with them such a strong group consciousness of protection and guidance that those are always wonderful to use. So if ever in doubt, you can go back to a childhood prayer that was very much a part of your rituals. And if not, choose one that you like and or simply set the intention. Thank you, spirits. I welcome only those who come in divine love. Okay? Now that we've said, and the reason they want you to say that, the reason they're saying this is because one of the easiest times for them to work with you and adjust your frequency so that you can hear them better is when you are in sleep mode, because your conscious mind doesn't get in the way. But that does not mean to say that you can't also deliberately work with it consciously. So if you wish to start exploring different kinds of ways, one of the simplest ways is to start talking to your guides after setting your intention and conditions, and just start writing. What would you like to say to me today? And then you just start writing. Now, I'm not going to go on and give you lessons on how to work with this stuff because there are so many different possibilities in different ways, and it's all very, very personal. But what I think, what they'd like you to know is that it is personal to you, and that one of the biggest things, one of the reasons they want to make this clear to you now is because just the understanding of this, that this is possible for you, just the communication that they're having by being able to say this to you means it's going to open your mind to different possibilities of it. So for those of you who've already been channeling, know that it may change. It may increase or it may shift dramatically from one to another. But the image that I'm getting is that generally more open in all aspects of your senses because it's coming through everywhere. Now, again, the childhood prayers, you will probably come into some core beliefs, or if not core beliefs, some strong beliefs that you've carried with you from other people that are going to go, yeah, really, sure, seriously, you believe in that? Or you're talking to the devil, or, all things that I've heard when I started many years ago before it was, popular. And that you're just to be aware of the fact that don't cast your pearl before swine, right? That's a saying in the Bible, I think. Basically, don't be spreading this about in areas where people are not going to appreciate it or like it. Think of this, and this is what they're showing me. Think of this as your beautiful flower, as your beautiful plant that you're nurturing. And it is a flower. They're showing me it is a plant, but it is a plant that blooms, because this is you protecting it and keeping it in the environment that is going to give it the best opportunity to grow without you having to deal with the contradictions of other people. You'll have enough of your own come up as you question it, as you learn how to validate it. There are lots of courses you can take, but what I'm hearing is for a lot of you, this is going to be quite natural for you to do already. When you have a generous heart, an open heart, the channeling happens quite naturally. And the thing is, a lot of times the trying versus doing card comes up. It's like, right, yeah, okay, just stop trying, just do it. Just do it, and then see where it takes you. See what happens. See how it feels. See how you trust. See where it doesn't feel right. Experiment. And just stay open to the idea that this is a possibility for you, okay? I love this because the sense that I'm getting with this is that it goes far beyond the idea of just, oh, look at that, you can be psychic. it really feels to me, and this is the first impression that I got with that image, and then there was a phrase that dropped into my head, and it was about the council. It was about you now being addressed by the council, a council of elders, a council of spirits, where you now are open to really be able to channel. I'm hearing divine wisdom. So if divine is an issue for you and you don't like that word, wisdom, cosmic wisdom, wisdom based in love, in light, wisdom that is what the planet needs now, wisdom that's based on compassion, wisdom that's based on understanding and growth, and in a way where it's literally it's not just that you're going to be doing this for people or have the capacity to do this for people. It's that this is the energy now you'll be carrying into the world. And so this is a wonderful thing. So any of the other details that I talked about in terms of how you might want to experiment with it, this is really something where by deliberately staying authentic to yourself, paying attention, listening, being clear, setting your intention, and setting your intention to do it in a way where you are really leaning into it as an act of grace, an act of it's more than an act of grace. It's leaning into it as a journey of evolution into an understanding of yourself that goes far, far, far beyond anything you ever understood. Now, we've talked a lot about the ability to understand love differently for cancers. We've talked a lot about having come to understand the nature and the value of your ability to be sensitive, to understand nuances. And this is one of the things that is going to make this something for you that is going to be easier than it might be for some other signs. And it is something now where you get to understand. I love this. This is something now where you get to understand the importance of having had the level of sensitivity that you've had, and where you've had to go through the lessons in order to be able to understand the nuance of emotion and feeling and the sensitivity and all of these wonderful things, because this is all part of that frequency that needs to come into the world and that spirit will work with. I'm not really sure everything that I've said, so I'm going to leave it now, and who knows, I may do a follow-up, I don't know. But for now, what I really want to say is this is a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift that you have. It is an ability that you have that spirit is very, very happy to work with right now. And they really want to let you know that when you're ready, you let them know, and they're going to find a way to work with you in a way that suits you and suits your life, suits the life that you want to have. You don't have to turn into some kind of aesthetic, some kind of hermit in a cave. You can carry on a very wonderful life. And in fact, I think sometimes, oh no, I'm sorry. This is what they're saying, is that, when you really move into the deeper parts of what is truly authentically you, that is when all of your life comes into balance. It's not just about, being a psychic medium for 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. It's about having a balanced life. And that's also something that the discipline of taking care of yourself, of loving yourself, of honoring what you feel, what you need, and really staying true to that authentic quality first. That's rule number 1. Okay? Okay. I'm going to post this and keep my fingers crossed that when I listen back to it, I'm not going to go, oh, what did I say? Okay, because it felt right. Okay, take care.